Hello, I'm Sarah Snell-Pym and this is day 2 of our craft advent that we are making as a celebration of 10 years of our craft blog. The us being me and my husband Alaric. So yesterday we made a video on how to knit your own tinsel, which is part of a bigger project. Today I'm going to show you how to make snowball pom-poms, which again is actually part of a bigger project. The same bigger project as it happens, which I'm hoping you'll all get to see. So, starting off with this off-cut leftover wool. It's an acrylic. I call all yarns wool. I think it's like a British thing. Yarn sounds American to me, but yeah, it's technically an acrylic yarn. It's white with these lovely variegated little patches of blue, which gives it like a snowy, icy texture. I picked this up at my local craft store in the marketplace in Gloucester, and the rest of it has been used to knit the cape and stockings, I think, of a little Ice Queen dolly that I knitted for my youngest after she became obsessed with a certain Disney film. So yeah, this is what I have left. I'm going to turn it into snowballs using a pom-pom method. Now my brother has got me like really nice little pom-pom makers that fold up neat and everything, but I'm not going to be using them because I've left them at the Hackspace, I think, which is a community enterprise that are popping up all over the globe. You should check out your local one if you haven't got room to keep your own sewing machines and knitting machines and things like that. They are a brilliant resource. They often have lots of metalwork, woodwork, laser printers and stuff like that. They vary in size, they vary in what they have to offer you. And yeah, enough on them. That's where my pom-pom makers are, I think. What I'm going to be using instead are little cardboard discs. Now, this is the way my mum and nan and all the rest of it used to make them. Now, these ones I've got, or I had, it's broken, a paper punch, and I just punched them out of cereal boxes and other thin cards you get round food normally. So, punch 2 of those. I fold them into 4 and just like snip the little peak off, so I've got a hole. Now I have 2 of them. It's important you have 2, not 1, 2. You put them together and then you thread your wool round it through that hole. I will show you. So the best way I find of doing this is I have a tapestry needle, bodkin needle, whatever we're calling these. Different people have different names for them, because some people say the tapestry needles are barbed and others don't, so different names for different things. Probably like a regional thing, to be honest. So yeah, one of these, I call them bodkin needles. You can get plastic ones for this sort of thing. Here we have one of my children's attempts at a pom-pom, and you can see it's plastic and it's got like it hasn't got a point, it's got a ball on the end, which is perfectly fine for making pom-poms and for doing coarse tapestries. And they tend to come with kids' kits for stuff. So I tend to take 4 arm lengths like that, snip it, and thread it. Now I thread by laying the yarn over the needle like that, so like that, and then squeezing it between my thumb and forefinger, pulling the needle out so I've got it pinched between my thumb and forefinger, and then I push it through the eye of the needle by putting it there. See if I can, oh, there we go. Like that. Put it through. There we go. Now you can either put it all the way through and not the end like this, which can help if you're just starting out with this stuff. So it's now basically tied on, and you'll need to even out your two halves of your yarn. Okay, and then you take your discs, here's your discs, and you can start threading through. Now the advantage of having, see what I did there? Now the advantage of having that knot on the end is you can like feed it through the end there, like that, and it's locked in place, it's not going to come off. So when making pom-poms with small children, this is a good little fallback, because they can get very frustrated if they are making them and it just keeps pulling off the card, and they don't always have the dexterity to not have it happen, basically. So yeah, this is what we do. We just go around and around and around, and the more times you go around, the more full your pom-poms are, the bigger your circles are, the bigger your pom-poms are, the bigger the circle is in the middle, the more issues you will probably have with tying it up and keeping the pom-pom together. You can make giant pom-poms. I do a lot of craft workshops at festivals and have made lots and lots of pom-poms to go on my pom-pom sheep, which are giant paper mache sheep I take to festivals. Well, I say giant, they're kind of that big. But I've seen people produce humongous pom-poms out of scrap clothing, which is a workshop I've done as well. And people, you can make what are those things? Pom-pom cheerleader type things. Well, it's called pom-pom, isn't it? Pom-pom cheerleader type things out of it. Yeah. So this is what we do. We just keep going round and around and around, and it can get a little bit repetitive. So basically, if I have lots of pom-poms to make for a project, I would sit and watch a film and do this with my kids. Normally Alaric ends up involved in it as well. We just keep on and on and on and on and on and oh on and on like this, and you see the hole is getting smaller. Okay, so we literally just keep doing this until we run out of thread. And then we go, oh, we've run out of thread. And we get the scissors and we snip off said thread. So snipped it, still got the little bit in the needle, take that out, rethread and continue until you cannot get that needle through the middle anymore. That is what we do. Now, a good resource for finding out different projects you can do with pom-poms, because they're very versatile, very easy to do. I do this with kids of all ages because it's so easy, and the little pom-pom makers you can get, they're kind of easier because you literally just wrap the wall round, and you can get them in different sizes, and yeah, you could do just so much with pom-poms. A good place to source inspiration for the sort of things you can do are things like Pinterest and craft blogs, Ravelry, because there really is just so much. I mean, you can make little, because at the point where you change your thread, you can change the colour, and once you've finished making them, you can trim them into slightly different shapes, so you can actually cut them to be square and things like that. Now, Christmas wise, you can make Christmas puddings, you can make little baubles, you can make snowballs. One of my little girls, I think the eldest's first Christmas play was absolutely, wow, there was hundreds and hundreds of pom-poms that the little preschoolers and the nursery staff had all made, and they threw them all in a little snowball fight basically, which was pretty epic. And I've done that sort of thing with scout groups before, where we've made larger pom-poms and had an indoor snowball fight. You can make what else can you make? You can make like little reindeer faces. I make little sheep to go with the big pom-pom sheep. You can make little pom-pom sheep that are actually pom-poms. Pom-pom pals, where I get little googly eyes and I attach the googly eyes and things like that. And little feet, you can add little feet to them and turn them into those fuzzy bugs that you sometimes see in promotional stands. They were quite big in the 80s. You can make them yourself with pom-poms. You can make, yeah, just pretty much just everything you can think of it. You can probably make it into a pom-pom version. Other things I do with pom-poms is I put them on hair bands and have them as hair accessories. I've seen some good stuff done with turning them into jewellery. Yeah, but I do like them as Christmas decorations, I have to say. They are a Christmassy thing for me, mainly. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with this, because when it looks finished, it's not finished, because I want these to be nice full pom-poms. So I'm going to keep going for a bit, and I will come back to you once this is full and I can tie it off and fluff it up. Okay, so we've reached this point where it's a bit of a struggle to get the needle through, you see, and this is where we really do want it to be. See, it's now kind of, you have to fiddle around to find a spot where it would go through. So that is how tight you want it. So now I snip it. Like so. Take that thread off, that's spare thread, because I can use that now to tie it together. what I do is I just part the threads on part of the disc, so I've exposed the 2 discs, and the reason there's 2 of them is so that you can open it like that. I do that so that you can fit your scissors in. Okay, so we fit the scissors in. You know, it's weird, but this is one of the few times that the safety scissors we give kids actually does a better job than the sort of shears we keep for grown-ups, because they actually get into these really, really well. And then we snip. We snip round like this. And that was a bit of card flopping off of these because these are quite old discs. Generally you can make several pom-poms before the discs start giving up the ghost, depending on how careful you are with the old scissor chopping. Now, one of these discs was a bit broken to begin with, so this may well be its last. Oh. So you go around like that. See, bit there, wasn't too careful with that, chop chop. And then we have this sort of arrangement. You see, it's already starting to appear quite fluffy, and you just check that you've actually got them all. And oh, what's this? If I can find where the camera is again. I'm useless at finding where the camera is. We have somewhere on here. There. You see? There. We have naughty errant strands. We need to make sure that it's all snipped. All of it. Snip. Like so. So there. Cardboard. These. Do not remove the cardboard at this point. The amount of times people do, and then you're all upset because they just end up with loads of little bits of wool. What you do is you take your thread and you put it between the 2 discs. You pull it round, and then you can tie it up. I'm just using a standard knot there. Right, pull tight. Again, and because I want to keep this, I'm gonna just do this so that I have a nice little loop to hang it on. Which I may regret having tied up, but we'll see. Snip those. First thing, if you're going to tie it onto something, you might not want to necessarily tie them up. You might want to just leave them long, and if you're going to be tying them or sewing them onto something, you probably don't want to tie them up. You can just snip them off completely if you just want round pom-poms. So then we ease the cardboard discs off. That's the post. There we go. Ease the cardboard discs off. We go fluff it up. There we go. Now, as you can see, there's lots of little bits sticking out. Literally, you just take your scissors and you trim it. Well, there's knots left, which is why some people don't like using that technique. But as I said, for small children or those with dexterity issues, it can be a project saver. I myself am actually quite cack-handed, so I do tend to like my little cheeks like that. Okay, so there we have one little snowball, one pom-pom snowball. Now I'm going to make some more of those, and you'll probably get to see what they become for the big project. Okay, hello, not that you can really see me. We've made some snowballs, and I believe these two wish to have a bit of a snowball fight. So, with the whole, however many have we made? 6, 7 of them. It's time to have a snowball fight on the lovely snowfield you've made. Go on.
Oh, should we start?
Yeah.
I'm winning.
Get her, Mary. That's it. Woo! Dead Jean! There's a dead Jean. Oh no! Retribution from the grave. Ah!
Where's my pen?
Get her, Mary.